Well, hey friends, and welcome back. Today I want to take you along for a whole house declutter with me. And I like to do a big sweep over of my house like this about every 6 months or so to make sure that the things that I own I'm still loving and using, and to pass on any items that don't meet those criteria. And I figured that now would really be the perfect time to do this so that I can really begin the new year with a fresh start. This is gonna be fun. Honestly, decluttering always has a bit of a rejuvenating effect for me, so I think that I'm going to start off in my closet, as I know there are a handful of items that I've just been noticing recently that I haven't reached for in I don't know how long. So I'm going to go through my closet first, and then we'll tackle some of the other areas of the house after that. I know I definitely want to hit my pantry, my kitchen, and my office, and we'll see what else. But now let's head over to the closet and begin our decluttering. Well, welcome to my closet. What I'm going to do right now is basically just go through all of the clothing that I have, the hanging stuff and the folded stuff. And I basically just want to ask myself and reflect on when was the last time I wore this item. And if I can't remember when the last time was, I want to ask myself, is this something that I see kind of wearing going forward? And if it's not, those are the items that we're going to declutter. So I'm going to pop on a time lapse, make some decluttering decisions, and then I'll walk you through what I'm getting rid of and why. So I just finished going through my closet and found a handful of things that I'm wanting to declutter, and I want to kind of walk you through each of them and share with you kind of my rationale for why I'm decluttering them. So first, let's start with the easy stuff. I have a couple pieces of undergarments here that I'm decluttering because they're worn out. Plain and simple, it's just time to move on from them. And then second is this pair of pants. They're still in great condition, but I actually have a pretty narrow waist, so I find that they have a bit of a gap at the waist, and that's actually one reason why I've started tending to buy curvy style pants. So these ones just don't fit as well as I'd like them to, so for that reason I'll be decluttering them. And then next I have this shirt. I really love the material and the color, and it has this really nice kind of floaty silhouette to it, but recently I've been finding myself gravitating towards a lot more kind of cropped styles, and this one is just a tiny bit longer than that, so I just haven't found myself reaching for it that regularly. The same thing goes for this sweater too. It's really comfortable and I love the color, but I just haven't found myself reaching for it as much as I'd like. And I'll be letting go of this Madewell denim jacket too. I love the cut of it, I love the fabric and the material, but the color is just not exactly what I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to sell this and then try to find something that's going to be a bit more versatile for my wardrobe. And then finally, we have this green linen dress, and I love the color of this. I love linen as a fabric, but I think that for me, the length of this dress, since I'm so short, is just a little bit too long, so I didn't feel like it was as flattering as it was supposed to be. I think that if you had somebody who was even like an average height size, it would look a lot better than on me, who's definitely a petite. So it's sad because I love the color, I love the material, but I do think this will really look better on someone else. So those are all the items that I'm wanting to let go of and to pass on to someone else, but rather than donating those items, especially since some of the items are brands like Madewell, Everlane, Altered State, they're kind of nicer brands, what I want to do is to sell some of those items so that I can pass them on to someone else so it can be loved and used by them, but also so I can recuperate some of the money that I originally invested in those items. And so I'm going to be using the Poshmark app to sell these items and to give them a new home. And Poshmark is something I've been using literally for years to clean out my closet, and so I'm really excited to be partnering with them in today's video. People always ask me what to do with the clothes that they no longer want or need, and obviously donating clothes can be a great option, but my personal go-to and the first thing that I like to try to do is to sell those items. Number one, because it helps you to kind of gain back some of the money that you might have spent when initially buying that item, so it's a great and really easy way to earn money. But then second, what's really cool is that when somebody buys an item of clothing, you know that they want it. They're willing to kind of exchange value for that item. So if you're wanting your clothing to go to a good home where it can be loved and used, selling it is really the best way to ensure that that item is going to have a new life with someone new. And so I love that, and I really feel like that does make selling your items such a great option. And in my experience, Poshmark is really just the easiest and the most user-friendly way to be able to sell the items in your closet. Plus, if you're looking to add add a few intentional pieces to your own wardrobe, you can find amazing deals and shop from stores like Anthropologie, Free People, Madewell, and Everlane, and get up to 70% off retail prices. And that's something that I just love to do. It feels like online thrifting, and actually one of my favorite sweaters of all time I got off of Poshmark. And what's cool too is that if you're looking for some more investment pieces that you can have in your wardrobe for years to come, Poshmark has a lot of luxury brands available at more affordable prices, and they even offer complimentary authentication for orders of over $500. So honestly, I just love Poshmark. It is the tool that I would recommend for cleaning out your closet. So what I want to do now is take pictures of each of these items and list them on Poshmark, and then I want to share with you guys really quickly about a fun giveaway I'm doing. Okay, well that didn't take long at all, but I'm really excited because if you've ever wanted the chance to shop my closet, now you get to. And as a little sort of giveaway, just to say thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, I'm going to be listing a whole bunch of items on there for just $3. Plus, I'm going to be including a little handwritten note in each order too. This is going to be so much fun, and of course, if you do purchase an item, I would love if you could tag me in a picture on Instagram of you wearing it. It would honestly just make me so happy to see my items being loved and used by someone else. So if you want to shop my closet or from your favorite brands, be sure to check out the link in my description box to download Poshmark in the US, Canada, Australia, and India. So be sure to check that out and hurry too. I have a feeling that those $3 items won't last long, so run, don't walk. This is going to be so much fun. Now though, let's continue with our decluttering. We still have the whole rest of the house to tackle, and so let's go to my office next. So I just came over to the office, and honestly there isn't too much in here besides our bookshelf and then some guest bedroom / office supplies for myself. So what I want to do is go through our bookshelf first, and then I'm going to take a look at our closet. I probably need to reorganize some stuff in there because it is a little bit messy, but the main thing I want to do is just to identify if there are any items that we need to let go of. So let's start off with the bookshelf, and then we can tackle the closet. Okay, so I found some stuff in this room that I'm wanting to move on from. First off is these 3 books. First, this one is a coffee table book all about plants. It is really beautiful and fun. I've read through the whole thing, but at this point, I just don't know that I'm going to go back and read through it again. It's kind of more basics of plants and plant styling, and I feel like at this point, that's something that I feel pretty confident and comfortable in, so I'm just not sure how much I'm going to go back and reference it. So I am going to be decluttering this book. Then I have this fun little book, How to Read Houses. I also have the How to Read Buildings version of this book, which is similar, but is kind of focused more on public buildings as opposed to houses. There is quite a bit of overlap, so I decided I didn't really need to own both of them. So I'm going to be decluttering this one, and then I'll keep the other one. And then finally, I have Persuasion by Jane Austen. I love Jane Austen's books, but Persuasion is honestly probably my least favorite of hers, or at least it's kind of lower on the list. So I've read it, I've enjoyed it. I think I've actually read it twice, but at this point I'm not sure if I'm going to read it again, so I think that it's okay for me to let go of this one. Plus it's one of those 25-cent paperback books, so I feel like it couldn't be too hard for me to find if one day, 10, 20 years down the road, I decide I want to read it again. So those are the books, but then while I was going through the closet in my office, I did also find a notepad that it's kind of one of those like sticky notepads where it's glued on one side and then just paper on the other. I really use my bullet journal for most note-taking, list writing types of activities, so I just don't really see myself using it. And then I'll also be getting rid of this bottom sheet. We don't actually have the top sheet to this set any longer. Christopher used it as a paint cloth when we first moved, so we ended up getting rid of that. So I just have an extra bottom sheet, and we'd been using it for when we had company over because we just didn't have any extra sheets. but we did recently buy a new complete set, so we have a top and bottom sheet and 2 pillowcases. It's amazing, I know. And so because of that, we no longer really need this extra bottom sheet, so I am going to be donating this one and passing it along. And then finally, we also have a pillowcase. This one actually has multiple holes and stains in it, so not going to donate this one. It is just very much worn out at this point. I think we've had this one since we first got married, so that's like 5 years now. So yeah, definitely time to just move on from this one, and I might try to recycle the fabric. That's it for the office. Now let's move on to the kitchen and pantry, and I feel like there's a lot of items that I at the very least want to go through in that room, so let's head over there now. Okay, made it to the kitchen, and the first thing that I want to spend honestly a good amount of time focusing on here is our pantry. It is kind of a mess right now, and I feel like that's making it really challenging for me to figure out what's even inside. There are quite a few duplicates I have. I feel like there might even be some empty containers, so I really just need to go through it, give it a good organization, a clean, and while I'm doing that, I want to figure out if there's anything that I can declutter along the way. So let's go ahead and start there, but then after that, I just want to do a quick look through of all of our cabinets, all of our drawers that we have in the kitchen, just to make sure that everything in those is intentional and that we don't need to let go of anything else. As you guys can kind of see in front of me, I found a whole bunch of things in our pantry that it's time for us to move on from. First off is just a ton of random packages, papers, and boxes. Honestly, I don't know how those things accumulate in our pantry the way that they do, but we had a lot of them, so went through and got rid of those. I also had this white cardboard box that I was using at one point to organize some food, but I just no longer needed it, so I'm going to be recycling that. I found a whole handful of at least a year-old candy. This is literally like Valentine's Day candy and Easter eggs, so I don't think that that's still going to be good. I feel like those are going to be very stale at this point. We're probably not going to want to eat them, so I'll be getting rid of all of those. I also have a box of tea cookies, which I actually opened up a few months ago, so at this point they are all a little bit stale, so I think I'm just going to get rid of these at this point. And then we had a friend over recently who left a couple of these mini toasts over at our house, and I think I'm a bit more of a cracker person than a mini toast person, so this was just leftover from the food that they brought over. So I think I'm going to try passing these on to a friend, or maybe try bringing them to a food pantry because they are unopened, they're still good. But yeah, I just don't know that I'll eat them. And then last thing, I do have a big bag of plastic bags here that I want to drop off at Target to get recycled. I feel like that's something that every so often I just need to do, is to recycle my old bags so that I can, yeah, start fresh, not have any in my home. So I'm going to recycle these plastic bags. Now let's continue on to the rest of the kitchen though and see what we can find there. Stuff in our kitchen to declutter. Yet again, we have just a bunch of empty boxes, containers, and bags. I really apparently need to get better at just regularly getting rid of the things that are empty. That's definitely one of my takeaways from today. So going to go ahead and recycle, trash that as is needed. Then I also found 2 spoons that they don't match our set, so people must have left them at our house, but I'm pretty sure we've had both of these for several months at this point, and no one's come asking if they left a spoon at our house, so I think I'm just going to donate these at this point because there's nothing that like irritates me more than having a matching set of cutlery and then just 2 pieces that don't go with it. So going to donate these guys. I also found a candle lid that oh my goodness. I found a candle lid that, yeah, I don't have the candle any longer that the lid goes to, so I'll be getting rid of that. I have this vase here that we went to an event where we were able to take home the vase of flowers, and the flowers are beautiful. I enjoyed them while they lasted, but now I'm left with this vase, so I'm going to donate that as well. And then finally, I got a really beautiful cookware set from Caraway, which I was super excited about, but it made it so that I no longer need some of the older kind of pieces of bakeware that we had. So I have I think this is a 9 or 10 inch cake pan that I'm going to be donating. And then same thing goes for this muffin tin. I just don't personally see the need in having duplicates for those items. I do love and enjoy making muffins or cakes occasionally, but it's not something that I do regularly enough to say, okay, I'm going to have multiple of these. So I'm going to declutter the remnants that I have and just love and enjoy the new set that I own. So now I feel like we're kind of coming to the end here, but I want to finish this off by looking through our living room and especially kind of our games and puzzles, and then also going into our closets, the laundry room, just to see if there's anything in either of those areas that we can get rid of. Okay, so I didn't find too much in the living room, but I do have 3 items that I've decided to declutter. First off is this throw pillow. So I originally bought this throw pillow as a part of a 2-pillow set. They both kind of had the same beige-ish color in them, and the first throw pillow developed a huge hole in it a few months ago, so I moved on from that one pretty quickly. But then I kept this one hoping that I'd be able to find a replacement in a similar color or even just a complementary color, and I've been trying for a long time and I haven't been able to find anything, so I think at this point I'm just going to give up on it and go ahead and donate this pillow. I think I've decided to go with a bit more of a more neutral, like a cream color for all of the pillows. That way it's just really easy. I don't need to worry about matching colors or anything like that. So I am going to donate this pillow and then hopefully find a replacement cream pillow that can go with the other one that we currently have there. And then I'll also be passing on this Thomas Kinkade puzzle. I'm thinking I might do this as a puzzle swap with a friend because I absolutely love puzzles, but I have done this one probably too many times at this point. I think I've made it something like 4 times now, and I think after doing a puzzle too many times, you just become really familiar with it, and so it's nice to switch it up. So I'm going to maybe see if there's a friend who I might be able to swap puzzles with or something like that, so they can enjoy this puzzle because it will be new to them, but also I can have variety and switch things up. And then finally we have this Taj Mahal board game. Christopher and I both love board games. We play them really regularly, but we haven't actually ever played this game. It was given to us as a gift. We don't love reading instructions and we don't know anyone who knows how to play this game, so for us it would just be this big kind of ordeal of trying to learn how to play the game, going through all the rules, reading the instructions, and honestly probably understanding it wrong because neither of us are good at reading instruction manuals. We just like having somebody teach us the game essentially. So because we've never played it and it's been way too long since we received this as a gift, I think it's time that we move on from this. Okay, and it's getting towards the evening now, so I want to wrap this up in a few minutes, but the last area that I want to look at before wrapping this up is our entryway and entryway closet. I feel like those are 2 areas where things can kind of tend to accumulate for us, so I just want to spend a couple of minutes going through them. Found just a few things that we no longer need. First off is this book, and then I also have some, we did a lot of flying earlier this year, so from the airlines that we flew, we have multiple different like hand disinfectant wipes. Typically I carry around hand sanitizer, that's what I use, and so just don't think that we need these. I have an empty hand cream, which it looks like I've used every single last drop, so just need to get rid of that at this point. Some empty cardboard boxes, shoe boxes that need to be recycled. And then finally, I have a pair of shoes. And these are actually really beautiful shoes. They're from Everlane, but I just don't find myself wearing flats all that often. Because I work from home, I pretty much never need to dress business casual or anything like that. In the past year or so, I really just haven't found myself wearing these as often. All right, well, it is just about dinner time and I'm getting hungry, so I think we're going to call it a day with decluttering and I'm going to go make some food. But thank you guys all so much for coming along with me as we decluttered. I don't know if this is something that you experience, but there is always something just so refreshing and relieving for me about decluttering and simplifying my home. It really is just like a breath of fresh air, not only when we make those decluttering decisions, but especially when we actually physically get get those things out of our home. So I definitely will be planning a Goodwill donation drop-off for tomorrow, and hopefully we'll sell those Poshmark items soon. Speaking of which though, if you are in the US, Canada, Australia, or India, don't forget to download the Poshmark app so that you can shop my closet and from your favorite brands. And thank you guys all so much for coming along with me today as we decluttered. As always, be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. And I hope you guys all have an amazing day wherever you are. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.